I think growing up, I always hated disappointing my parents.
Yeah.
You know, I was always making sure that I was doing everything correct, doing everything right, try to do my best in school. Trying to
Hmm.
try to stay out of trouble and stuff like that. And that's why I grew up to be such a too nice of a person. Where I'm always like trying to appeal to everyone else, and it's something I've been struggling a lot in throughout my whole life because
Yeah.
there are times where I'm just way too fucking nice, man, and I'll admit it right now. Like I'm too nice, and then like, and the reason why I asked you that first question, if you ever been in a situation where your kindness has worked against you, right? Um, I'm not saying that when I do these good deeds or being nice, I'm not saying that I expect anything in return, because
Yeah.
if you do that, then you're not being genuine.
Yeah.
You're not being
Yeah.
genuine. You're not doing being a genuine nice person. You're actually being like a quote unquote nice guys, right?
Or like you're just selfishly selfless.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
yeah. And I don't expect anything back. I don't expect anything in return. I can give you the whole world, and like you can just go on about your day, and I wouldn't really care about it. But the one thing I won't accept is if I do something nice, and like if I do something nice and you know that I've done something nice for you, right? And the level of effort I put into it,
Yeah.
I hope that you don't turn around and just stab me in the back. That's all I want. Don't stab me in the back. Don't disrespect me. At least give me that. At least give me some respect.
Yeah. It's, if only that was ideal, man. Like I feel like in today's world, like there's nothing wrong with being like kind, right? But sometimes like we kind people get taken advantage of, and that's what happened most of the time, right? Like no one really, like, so, and that's kind of like that's not your fault, that's whatever the other person chooses to do. And it kind of sucks 'cause I feel like it's happening a lot. I don't know, maybe it's always been a thing, but I feel like it's more relative now, that people's kindness gets taken advantage of a lot more than it feels like. It's taking a lot more advantage. It feels like kind people gets taken advantage of today more than they did like back then. Damn it. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
So,
I got you. Yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean. And like I guess like I'm kind of past that, because like I don't know, like I guess I came across that thought or that feeling a while ago, like maybe like 10 years ago or something like that. Or because of my relationships, usually I get a sense that you're like a very giving person. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, yeah, like you're a giving person, and like I am too. And so like I feel like people that are very giving, for some reason they tend to find people, maybe this will answer your other question before, we tend to find people who won't give that similar energy back. Instead they're kind of like takers, right? And at some point it might feel exhausting because you can only give so much, right? Like emotionally, physically, spiritually. And then if you give that to the wrong person, it's gonna be like, it's gonna suck, right? Yeah. So like, oh, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, it really does. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's. Sorry, you want to finish what you wanted to say, and then
I'll just finish this out. Usually, those type of people, they usually have that like shared like similarity of like struggles. But I guess this is something I feel like you already know, or I'm sorry, I am stumbling. I'm getting this feeling that you're you already came across this point where you're like, okay, you know what, you start thinking about more for yourself, you know, and that's fine, because I think people are more giving. They should work on that more, you know, versus like someone who is very selfish. Maybe they can learn how to be more selfless, right? So I guess like for people like you and I, or people that are more giving, or say they're more giving, they should think about their own happiness more.
I feel like being nice has something related to being anxious all the time, you know. And here I'll try to elaborate. So like I know that as Asians, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but like Asians, I think there's like a good percentage of Asians that are dealing with mental health issues, right? And
a lot of them.
Yeah, and I'm not going to speak for all of them, but like I'm gonna speak from my perspective. I'm a person that has, I don't want to say I have anxiety because it's gonna sound like I'm self-diagnosing myself, but like I'm the type of person that has anxious thoughts, right? I'm always overthinking. I'm always worrying about what other people think or do to me, you know. And I'm always trying to be nice because I want to get on their good side. If someone says something, if someone gets upset about something, right, and I'm in a conversation with them, I will think that they're upset at me, you know. I would start to blow up the whole situation in my own head, and you know, it just gets out of control. Anxiety has crippled me in my life, and it wasn't until like recently that I realized that it's starting to become a problem, you know. With all this overthinking issue, I thought that it was a normal thing, you know. I thought that everyone was doing it, you know, that they were overthinking. But to the level of what I'm taking it to, it's not normal, you know. And I didn't realize that until like when I was like dating this girl, right? Where she constantly gave me like second thoughts of like, you know, like of her actions, of her words, you know. And like it made me worry, like what's gonna happen tomorrow, what's gonna happen next week, what's gonna happen a month later, you know. And you become a prisoner in your own mind, basically. And that's how I felt when I was in a relationship with her. I don't know, it was terrible. It was really terrible. And I felt like the worst part about it is I felt like I was alone in this whole situation. I felt like no one was there for me. All I wanted to do was just go out with my friends, right? And like I don't even have to talk to them. I could just sit there in a room with them, right? And just watch them do whatever they want, like talking, playing games, drinking or eating, whatever, you know. I just wanted to be surrounded by people because I feel afraid. I'm like Alex. I'm afraid of being alone, you know. And I mean, I prefer being left alone, right? But I just don't want to feel alone, if that makes sense.
I definitely know what you mean, dog.
Yeah. And even like when I was going through the whole relationship, right? And whenever I would, you know, hang out with the guys and stuff like that, I still felt out of place. I still felt so lonely on the inside, and like it's hard to open up to these guys because I feel like if I open up to them, I'm putting so much burden on them, and I don't want people to think that, oh, I really don't want to be around this guy because he's gonna give me so much so much to take on, you know. And I sometimes I feel guilty, you know, just telling people about my issues and stuff like that. I mean I know this is not something that you probably won't really relate to.
Get out of here, dog. I totally know how you feel, and I phrase this. I know how you feel because I felt like I've been there. I don't. Obviously, you and I are two different people. We experience two different situations and stuff, right?
Mhm.
But you can't tell. I think in life, everyone experiences some type of anxiety. Some are more severe than others, or depression, right? Some are more severe than others.
Yeah.
But I think in the end of the day, it's like anxiety is anxiety. I mean, of course, I'm not trying to discredit, whatever you have. I believe, whatever how you explain it, it is what it is. Like, it's not your normal type of anxiety or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think even people can get, if they can get some piece of the puzzle, or piece of that pie, they understand what that flavor is like, right? Like, no, but that's just one talk. But going back to what I was saying, nah, man, I totally know how you feel, and I am confident in this because I went through the exact same questions in my head, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. I don't know if, I promise I said this to you before. If not, then I'll say it again, or I'll just say it. Like, I had a breakup with, like, you remember
Yeah, I remember.
the tall one?
Mhm.
We're gonna call her whatever her name is. We could bleep that out if you want. You remember?
I got you. I got you.
You remember? Yeah, well, long story short, we had a bad breakup, and I honestly say it's because of me. Although I know in reality it's like it takes two for something to happen, but I want to take this that problem or that issue upon me, because I think to this day I feel like I'm like a major problem for it. I mean, and I feel like what happened back then is because of how I was. But what I was trying to say is, like, after that breakup, man, I felt like my whole world just went bleak. Like, I gave up. I didn't give up. I gave so much to this relationship. I felt like a 22-year-old or 19 to 22-year-old guy can give. A college person can give. Like. And in the end, it wasn't enough. And when she left, I got so attached to her. Like, we were so, like, we saw each other every day type of deal. Like, we grown almost like dependent towards each other, which I don't think is a good idea. But we did, or I did. And then when she left, I felt very lifeless. So it felt so bad, man. Like, I had to call Ben to come. Like, I didn't know what to do. All I knew was I saw Ben, maybe because he's the letter B down the list, and I was like, he picked up luckily, and I was bawling my eyes out. But after that moment, after that phase of crying and all that stuff, there was a period of time where I felt lifeless. Like, I was there, but I wasn't there. I'm gonna try to speed this up because I know, like, you're not gonna talk about this, very similar things. Like, same thing. I went with the guys. Ben picked me up, whatever. I was hanging out there. They're trying to, like, they were there, and they knew what happened to me. But even then, like, over time, I think I had like a 2 or 3 month depression, and, like, no matter what I was doing, I felt like my time, like, as the world moved on, my world stopped. Like, it felt very lifeless, and I really did feel alone. And, like, it took a while to truly understand. Oh, during that time, I thought I was the only one that was going through these, But I guess the type of person I am, when I'm open to hear about other things too as well. And when someone said, like, "Hey, man, you're not alone," like, I guess it's coming from me to you, man. Like, you're really not alone, man. Like, I've been through it. Maybe I'm sure someone else is going through it right now.
Right.
And like, if you can truly visualize and feel like whatever that you went through, someone else is going through that. I think chances are it's probably true. There's like 10 million billion people like on this world, you know, going through this similar feeling. I guess long story short, I keep saying that. I feel you, man. I really do, and I don't think it's a burden. I don't think it's a burden to tell like someone that you want to tell these things, because at least for me, like I know that when I need someone, like, hey, I need you, like those words itself, like to Rodney, my like god brother, I know he'll be there, man. And so like I'm sure you're gonna have a hand select full of people who, you know, like you could communicate very well to in your own words, and I guarantee like they'll be there. Maybe not on that moment sometimes, because realistically, like we're working or something happens, right? But I guarantee like they'll hit you up back like ASAP, you know. And I think that's what having like real friends, or I can't say real friends, like having friends are for, you know, like knowing that your friends are going to be there for you. It's not a burden. I think of it as a blessing, because not everyone has friends or has like that type of friend, you know. Like to have a friendship where people have your back, even though you know you don't want to burden them, but they still choose to be there for you. Isn't that something, you know? Like you can't tell me like that's not beautiful, man. Like I guarantee you have some people in your mind that they're gonna be there for you, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I grew up with you, so I've you know, we pretty much know like our friends and stuff, and we see how we grew up, you know. We have history, you know. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say to you, man. You're not alone, and I know it's like this weird feeling, like you don't want to like just reach out to people like willy nilly and just tell them how you feel, you know. Like I think the beauty is like you're trying your best to be better, but when you can't handle it, you know, you got your friends there for you, you know, like because they choose to be there for you, you know. So
yeah. Do you mind if I ask?
Yeah.
How it all ended for you, or like what specifically?
Oh, what happened?
Yeah.
Man, it was a lot of stuff, man. We were, you know, I don't know. She was growing too fast, and I wasn't growing fast enough. Like, a lot of stuff she wanted me to do. It's a lot of things. And I guess when we were approaching our third year, it was a lot built up. That's all I know. I can say stuff like, we didn't see eye to eye on some things. Like, I wanted to focus a lot on school and not work. She wanted me to work because, like, obviously we spent a lot together. She wanted me to move out. I didn't work because I didn't feel like I was ready. And, you know, so it was like a lot. But also emotionally or internally, so you can include this video. This will, you know, I want to be transparent with this. I mean, you don't have to include the video, but I want to be transparent with you with this as well, or anyone. So when I was in my early, actually not even early, I remember when I was in middle school, like I had my first ever like explosion of like anger. It was with one of our friends, and all because he was saying I suck at basketball, and I knew I did. I mean, I didn't play basketball, but I was just there because everyone else was playing. But all that repetitive like saying you suck. One day I just blew my cap off, and I just grabbed the body. And I kind of tried to ram his head to the wall. And since that day, I was like, I eternalized that. It's like, because that's something I never like wanted to do, like right off the bat, you know, like, but it happened. So I'm just like, you know, I hated myself, literally. Like, why am I like this? That's like my question for the longest time. So I would have these type of like explosions when things like get real hot. And so Like I mean, to this day, I think I'm a hothead, but I think, and we're gonna get to this part where I feel like I had like a revelation. So, some will say it's my story, how I was saved. Yeah. So I'll have like these episodes, not very much. I think it was like literally like 5 times, or I can literally like count them because I hated this about me. It will happen, and then so fast forward, it happened once with me. I was also a hothead. Like, if I like between two of us, I'm think I'm more mellow, but even then, I'm a hothead, you know. So she one time we were arguing in the car, just our first year together, and like we were arguing over something very like stupid, and then next thing you know, I remember like she saying like oh I said, oh, you make me so angry, you know, like I just want to like, she's like, what you want to what, and I was like, I just want to like hit you, you know, and then like I was just like, I was being physical. I did not know how to control my emotion. Like I did not know how to control my emotions from when I was like middle school to like, and till I was 22, and I'll say this. And I remember, there's a reason why I say 22. There's another epic or scene for me. So, and in the end, you know, she provoked me. I'm sorry. This is backtracking where I got upset.
Yeah, keep going.
She said, she provoked me. She said, "Oh yeah, like do it. You won't do it. You do it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't think I'm gonna do it?" You know? And I put my head like put my head towards her head, but it wasn't like I like, you know, headbutted her. But it was like, actually technically I guess it was a headbutt, but it wasn't like super hard or anything, you know. And I just got like from her face, and I was like, you don't think I'm gonna do it? Like, you made me so upset, whatever. And she's like, you're hurting me, you know. And I realized I was being very like just physical, like just being like very up close to her head, you know. It was just very bad, and I think those were like the trigger words. So I just kind of like cooled off, and I told her, I was like, hey, like I understand that. I was like, you shouldn't be with me, you know, like no one. I don't think you deserve this in your life, and I just gave it to you, you know. Like I automatically knew like this is it, like game over for me. I have, you know, I have to work on this like real bad, you know. But she chose to stay with me, and I just like, whoa, you know. That's why I was so devastated when we left, because I was like, man, this girl's been. That's one of the reasons. I was like, man, this girl's been with you through my worst, you know, like. It means something, you know. So we worked it out where we tried to, but it was funny because like I think like 6 months later, like we like broke up because I went to Brazil for my birthday. My sister bought me like tickets for my birthday to go to Brazil, and broke up with me. She's like, oh, you're not gonna be here for my birthday, and I was like, what do you want me to say no to my sister? Like, she already bought me the tickets, you know? Like, and I knew I was gonna miss my birthday, but I was gonna do something, you know? I was gonna like make up for her or something, you know? I'm not like dense, you know? And I clearly communicated that, but it blindsided me. I was like, you broke up with me over this? You know? I thought you would break up with me over like what happened, you know, the headbutting thing. But you broke up with me because I'm not gonna be for your birthday? Like, you know? Whatever the real reason is, I don't know what it was. We broke up, and I was fine with it because I was like, I don't think, because I wasn't gonna be upset over that. It's like, this is what I'm valued at, then okay, you know, which is, yeah. Anyways, we got back together, and a year went by, and then we you know, it was like this, you know, like a normal relationship. You had your highs, but then sometimes you had your lows. And then one time it got real bad. We're entering like a time of toxicity. I could tell. Well, the way I remember it is because of I was getting fatter, and I guess she was too. I wasn't. I think I was 22 at this time, and I got easily got pressured to like, I'm already behind. You know, if some friends were already graduating, I'm behind. I need to like get my shit together. So I was trying to figure things out, and I think that's why I made the decision to become a firefighter. But I had to finish like the fall semester before I chose that firefighter route.
Right.
Anyways, I know this is a long story, but that thing I exhibited, the anger thing, it happened again when we were waiting in line for at Killing's barbecue. Nothing physical, but I got really pissed and I was just like saying words. I wish I can tell you what it was exactly, but I just know it was nasty, you know. And it scared her because she like it sparked her, like it sparked a memory of what happened the first time, and that's how she saw me since like I think the remainder of our relationship, which was like I think a good month. And I was just so sad because it's not like, because these are two incidents that happened like in the span of like close to 3 years, and I remember I can count it because like I said, I internalize these things. I never forget about them. So, it sucked that it happened. I guess it just really sucked because I did not control my emotions, and I guess however we are together, like sometimes when it gets bad, it gets really bad, and that happened twice, you know. Anyway, I guess for a good month, it happened like around October, November of 2016. She all I felt was like that fear. She was scared of me, and I just felt sad because it's not like I didn't try, you know. I did everything I could in my life to not be that, and it sucked to feel like I was like demonized. In the end, we talked about therapy, you know. I said, okay, you know, at first I was kind of against, because back then I was like, nah, just like, we can work it out, you know. But eventually I was like, you know, this is what she wants, and okay, figure it out. We ended up not going to therapy because like during that time I started working like full time. Actually, I worked part time, but even like full time hours. And so I was trying to schedule, but it wasn't working. And she got impatient, so I kind of made her pissed off.
Right.
So we got together like at my house, my folks' house. We were talking, like just trying to like, I had to vent out to her like, hey, I don't like it when you demonize stuff. You know, I was trying to tell her like, I'm not trying to be this or whatever, you know. In the end, nothing. It was like two sides were spoken on, you know, two sides spoke their minds, but nothing was resolved. And so I remember towards the end, I asked her, okay, well, you know, hey, well, you know, the day is still going. What are you doing today? And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go to a basketball game with my friend, or like the Rockets game. And I was like, oh, can I come? And then she's like, no, you can't. What? Why not? She said, just cause. You know, like, it was like that point, you know. But it's weird because there's times where it's like that. And so, but I felt unsafe. I didn't feel. I just didn't feel safe, you know. And so I just told her like, hey, can you just get out of. I'm getting very detailed in this one because this is how it happened. I asked her, can she like leave the house, you know? And I guess that just like blew her mind, because she just started bawling. She's like, why? You know, like she started bawling up. And I told her I don't feel safe, wanted around you. You know, like I don't know what I didn't feel like a boyfriend around her. I just felt like this thing, you know. And she bawled out, and then me back then was like, oh no, I can't let her like, you know, dry when she's bawling out like this bad. I gotta make sure she's okay. And that's when my whole feelings like came out. but it came out the wrong way. She would try to leave the house, but I didn't want her to leave the house until she was okay. So I stopped her every way I can. So that was very bad of me. You could tell, like, I had this very it was almost like an obsession of, like, I try to do everything I can in my power to fix something, and I know I could do it because if I want to fix something, it could happen. Well, you can't fix everything, right? Cheesy it sounds. I learned that the hard way. That's how we broke up. It was me not allowing her to, like, go home, and because in my mind I just wanted her to be okay, but my actions reflected very different, and she was, like, basically, like, abused on the inside. And so, I mean, I'm not very happy to say this, but this was, like, the turning point in my life. I believe it's a turning point, because that moment, that's where I experienced my depression. You know, like, you come to realize that I'm a piece of shit. I treat someone badly in the end, and all that stuff, and that's why one big reason I was depressed too wasn't just losing her. It was, like, how I lost her and why I realized I am and why I did. And so it's like I really thought to myself, hey, I don't deserve to be alive. Like, it's like I just I should, like, not be here, on Earth. And I had that thought. I had those thoughts for a while. Like, whatever the reason is, I had that feeling that I don't belong here. And it took forever. I mean, lucky I have common sense. Like, no, I can't say I'm lucky to have common. It's just I knew better. I knew that I should just keep moving my feet. Because that's what you're talking. The world moves on. You should try and move on with it. So after, like, a while of sulking, I tried to move on, and well, at that time I was very fat, or I was 225. I can show you a picture later. I was gonna send you a picture. Yeah. And then I was just like 225, but in a bad way. I barely worked out in my life, and then I started picking things up. It's funny, but I used that energy to work out. But I don't know. I think the train of thought was like, okay, well, how do I get better? I think knowing that I was, like, overweight, I was like, okay, well, I need to shed some weight. I need to be healthy, And the healthiest way, or to be healthy, I gotta work out. So that's what happened. And when I told myself, I had this firefighter thing that I wanted to do. So, because, like, I was trying to figure out what I need to do out of my life, because I felt like everyone's at that point I felt like school wasn't for me. I already knew it 6 months before, but I was like, okay, firefighting is about to happen. Okay, let me work out, get acclimated. That's literally the only thing that kept me going, really, is to be healthy for firefighting. Like, I needed to just do firefighting, and since that day, walking to get up to work out and doing everything I can, before fire school, it was like taking small steps, and then each day, and it just got better from there. And so, like, I guess that's my story for how I got saved in terms of, like, Christianity, really. And I truly believe that, because I mentioned all this story without mentioning about God, but I prayed, man. Like, when I'm by myself and I had those thoughts and I was lonely and stuff, man, I prayed so hard. I was like before I go, I was like, hey, let me talk. I don't care who I'm talking to. I don't know who what you are, but am I meant to be here? Like, what was I meant for? Like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I do horrible things when I'm angry. Like, what was I meant to do? Like, why am I here? prayed, and I guess like I didn't know it was a sign. I took this as a sign, but I didn't know it was a sign until like a couple years ago, which is I just took steps toward firefighting, and I believe that's my place to be because I felt like it lined up with a lot of my purpose. I think everyone has a purpose in their life, like why you're here, like in this world, versus like what you want to do. I mean now I feel like my purpose is to serve the community. I mean I kind of knew from a young age. I just didn't know how to. I didn't know how to handle that. So I feel like my purpose is to serve the community, and I believe it's somewhat related to firefighting. That's why I'm here, firefighter. But now I have all this time. I think it's good if I could focus on what do I want to do, So figuring that out. But anyways, it's just.
I'm sorry. You want to finish what you said?
Oh yeah, and I was just say if you ever include this in, pretty much this is like a whole year's worth or 3 years worth of my time compressed down to like 30 minutes. So I did the best I can. Yeah.
No, that was really beautiful, bro. And I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I want to dissect.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because you gave a lot of topics into that.
It's a lot.
But like it's good, because I really want to take the right amount of time, dedicated amount of time to talk about every one of them, right?
Yeah.
Before I do that, I just want to say I'm glad that you're still here with us. I know you've gone through a point in time where you wanted things to just end,
Yeah.
And I've gone through something like that before. In one of my relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
It ended badly, and all I wanted to do, I remember, all I wanted to do was to go to sleep, and like just not wake up at all, because I feel like, I think at that point in my life, I was like, the dreams that I was having felt more exciting and thrilling than real life. And I just want to stay in that moment forever,
Yeah.
And you and I, we're still here, we're still going, and and chances are it's gonna keep on sucking. But you know what? We just have to look forward and just do what we can,
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're still here, because that means that whatever happened with your relationship, right?
Yeah.
You learned from it. You didn't give up. You took all that as a lesson, right? You acknowledge that you have some anger issues, right? And you're working on it. I assume you're working on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is like my lifetime battle. I don't think I will say I'm better at managing my emotions. That's pretty much what it was.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, it will never happen again. I think this is one of those lifelong battles people have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yeah. You and I, in terms of anger issues, I feel like we're on the same page with each other.
Yeah.
Because you have never seen me or heard me like actually angry.
No. I believe you when you say that.
No one in our friend group has ever seen me angry.
Yeah.
The only time when anyone even had like a glimpse of my anger was probably Simon, Jimmy, and Roland, and that was because I was on a phone call with them, and I remember because that relationship I was in last year, right?
Yeah.
When I found out about everything, I got on the phone with them and I started yelling, bro. I was yelling, I was cursing throughout my whole entire house. Heard it. Like my parents heard me, my dogs heard me. Like my dogs, bro, were afraid to get near me.
Yeah.
After that phone call session, my parents were like scared to death, man. They were like, "What's going on?" Like I never heard Raymond this angry before.
Yeah.
And it's so it's so ugly. I'm not even sugarcoating it, because I'm a quiet person, right? I'm very observant. I can see what other people don't see, or hear things that people don't hear, right? And when you make me cross that line, I will unleash like Pandora's box, man. I unleash every single emotions inside of me. I can expose everything that I've been seeing. That when I've had times with you, the times I have spent with you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ugly, and I feel like if I didn't have that control over me now, I think I would have hurt a lot of people along the way with that anger. And no one has ever seen me or heard me like to the full extent of my anger, and I pray that no one does and will. And it's because when you're talking about that situation where you almost got physical with your ex, right?
I guess technically it is physical.
Yeah. It reminded me of because that the whole time I was reminded of another relationship. I mean, surprise, I'm talking about another relationship, right?
Yeah.
It was another relationship back in high school, and so the story was it was stupid thinking about it now, but like I remember I was in class, right, and I was with my at the time girlfriend. She was a really clingy person. I'm not gonna lie, right? And I think when I had my stuff open, like my binder, my books open on the desk, and she saw like it was a picture, but like it was like flip upside down, right? In one of my binder, right? And she was like, "What's that picture?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's nothing, right?" And I just closed it, and she just kept on like prying, and she was like, "What is it? Tell me what it is." And I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is because I didn't tell her at all, and she never found out. But like, it was a picture of me and my first girlfriend, and it happened to be still in my binder because that was the same binder I was using back in middle school, you know.
Oh yeah.
and I didn't want to cause any drama, you know. I didn't want to say, "Oh, this girl I was still seeing or I still have feelings for her," you know. I didn't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
She like the girl I was with at the time. She was so upset that I wouldn't tell her, you know, that she, it got to the point where she just grabs my jacket, and I had to chase her around the whole entire school just to get it back.
Damn, so toxic.
and like this was like I was chasing the whole time between classes, right? So like the bell rang for third period, and we were getting ready to go to fourth period. So the whole entire time between that time, where we were all supposed to go to our next class period, I was chasing her down throughout the whole school. I was so angry. I was so upset. I was like, "Why are you doing this? Like, look, can't you just respect my stuff?"
Yeah.
And then I finally caught up to her, and then she was like, "Tell me what that photo is or that picture is," and I was just like, "Just give me my jacket," right? And I remember vividly, I punched the locker, not her, right? Not her. Ooh. I punched the locker. I punched the locker, right? I punched the locker, and it was so bad that my knuckle was actually bleeding. Like it was like dripping blood.
Yeah.
And like I still have a scar right here, and you can't really see it, but the scar is still there, and rightfully so, because I want that scar to be there to remind me of the level my anger can reach. Yeah. And you know, she gave me back my jacket, and then she walked off, right? Mm-hmm. And then I felt so bad. I went after her, and I was like, "Hey, look, I'm sorry, but I really can't tell you what this picture is." And you know, and she was just like, "Whatever," right? And then we just went on a different ways, right?
Yeah.
Separate ways. the thing is, high school, right? Kerr,
Mhm.
it was a small school. When
Uh-huh.
when I punched that locker, everyone saw, and like, oh, like I felt so embarrassed thinking about it now, because like people, like a lot of people knew her, right? Like the upperclassmen knew her because like she was related to some of the people in the senior class, the junior class.
Mhm.
But yeah, like when I punched that locker, I was like thinking about it now, I was so embarrassed.
You let all the seniors know I'm not the
Yeah.
one to mess with.
Yeah, they like people. I legitimately thought that people thought I was like a physically abusive person, and I'm not.
Damn.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm just I can't
Control your
it's-
emotions.
I can't control my emotions at that time, and
Yeah.
if you cross me, I woke up to the point where someone's gonna get hurt,
Yep.
right? And but I mean, luckily, like everything in the end, like even though we parted ways, right? I think like a couple weeks after we met up a little bit, and I told her that I know this is not gonna work, because at the time when I got together with her, I think at that time I was like desperate for a relationship, because I was still trying to get over my another relationship. Yeah, I have too many relationships, bro. But
Because Raymond is a player from the Himalayas. That's what he said.
nah, that was. I mean, I'll be lucky to get some sort of relationship these days, but that's that's besides the point. But like, I was telling her, look, I don't think I can be the person that you want me to be, right, in this relationship, because I feel like my heart is somewhere else.
Player from the Himalayas, right here.
I was still getting over a bad breakup, and I feel like I was using you as a clutch, and it's not fair for you. It's not fair for you, because I told you how clingy she is, right? And how much effort she was putting into a relationship, and like me, I'm just like, I feel guilty because I'm not giving her the
You're 100%.
yeah, my 100%. And and I feel bad having to do that, but it had to be done. I mean, I wouldn't say that whole relationship was a loss. I mean, I learned that I need to control my emotions a little bit better. I need to not let my okay. So one, I shouldn't dive into something committed so soon when I'm still broken, right? And number two, I need to control like my emotions during like heated situations,
Yeah.
and that I feel like that's one of the reasons why I became like a more calm person nowadays. It takes a lot to make me go over the edge now, dude. Alex, we've been through a lot together. Like, I mean, I remember meeting you back in that tutoring school, right? During the summer, we were like we were like in middle school basically. Like we were like in 7th grade transitioning to 8th grade or something like that. I remember. Well, I remember I didn't meet you there, but like I met you at Simon's house, right? And we were all playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is funny because me and Simon met under the same theme, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And
Yu-Gi-Oh was hot back then.
yeah, it was. And then I remember we started going to the school, right? The student school over the summer, and that's where I met you. And then I think we just got closer together from then on. And I will remember because the biggest thing from you is that I remember you would teach me how to throw a football.
Yeah. I remember this conversation.
Yeah. We always talk about it because it's just like it's so memorable for me,
Yeah.
Like it was basically like a big brother teaching a little brother how to do stuff, and, growing up I didn't have anyone, and that was all I wanted, that experience of like an older figure, just to show me the ropes and things, and I'm glad that you were there for me, and I'm glad that you're still here with me, and I'm looking forward to how many much more of this thing that we call life we have together still. I mean, do you have anything else you want to add? Because I feel like it is like a good time to start wrapping things up.
I'll say it again. I appreciate you having me on here. Want to talk to, continuing to allow me to be part of your journey. I never thought I would be or I had an older brother figure to you at some point, because it's weird. It's funny. I guess that's how mentors are. They never really they never really want to be mentors. Sometimes they just ask. But I appreciate it, man. It's still kind of hard for me to take it in because I don't think I'm like the perfect person or like the right person to be this person. Really, I guess that's just my inferior complex. but yeah, I appreciate. No, I truly appreciate it, man. So.
And I'm glad that you were able to open up to me about that relationship that you went through, and it was, and I'll be honest, it was really emotional just hearing about it, and I wish I could be there for you and just give you a hug, bro. And I'm glad that you and I have experienced something like that, so that we can always turn to each other. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything I have.
Nah, man, I want to say it's funny because I remember you and I would have previous conversations about how you're feeling and stuff, and it's funny because I find it funny because I knew the moment, not that it was like genuinely comedian like funny, but it was just like funny how things work, because I remember when you were telling me how you felt, I was like, dude, like totally know how, like in my head I was like, I know this feeling, but like I didn't want to oh yeah dude, just do this, like how you said like if you needed help or whatever, like I just knew like I didn't know what to do, but I knew that you needed, like sometimes we, like you said, like you just need people to be there. But I guess I'm glad I'm able to go a little bit more depth with you with this one. But like I guess I can say this for other people, maybe half of them. But I guess like for the people that do go through it, I think all it takes is for you to express it, man, to the right people or the people that have been through it, and be like, oh yeah, like like it takes one to know one. So usually like it was cool, man. It makes me believe more. I knew like when I told you like you're never alone, and I truly believe that but hearing you talking about your stories and stuff, even before, I was like, man, yeah, we really aren't like alone. Like when we do think we're alone, it's like, nah, a lot of people go through with what we do. And that makes me feel like it's okay, like it's okay to like that something is like making you unhappy, and something's wrong with you, or let's say you and me, like anyone, but it's okay because people, there's a good amount of people that go through as well. I don't know, I guess like that's just reassuring for me, because it feels like I'm not like the issue, or I'm not like, oh my gosh, like I guess I kind of like devalue, I don't know how to explain it. It just makes it kind of just normalizes me a little bit, like yeah, this is still an issue, but I'm not like, it helps me to not freak out as much, I guess. I don't know, when I find out what it is, I'll think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom line, if you have friends with anxiety, remember, like, sometimes we don't want to hear what we should be doing. Most of the times we just want to be listened to, and just to be reassured that everything's gonna be okay.
That's right.
And with that said, I think I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you again, Alex, and to the viewers for joining me on this another episode of the Rayflection Show.
You have to get that in there.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the love and support I've been getting so far, and I just hope that you guys can keep on, keep tagging along on this adventure with me. Okay, so I'm gonna stop dragging on. Thank you for everything. Again, follow my socials on the bottom. It's just my Instagram, but like, I'll be trying to update a little bit more about the podcast and my life along the way. With that said, I'll catch you on the next one.